My beloved child, I see you. Even in the moments when you think no one notices your silent prayers, your tired faith, or the weight you carry in your heart, I see you. You are not invisible to me. You are not forgotten, and you are not walking this road alone. I know there are days when your faith feels heavy instead of strong. Days when you kneel down not because you feel powerful, but because standing feels impossible. You wonder if holding on is worth it. You ask yourself quietly, is God really with me? Or am I just talking to the silence? My child, listen to me carefully. I have never left you, not for a moment, not even in the darkest season of your life. I was with you when your heart broke and you smiled anyway. I was with you when people walked away and you still chose to forgive. I was with you when your prayers felt unanswered and your tears became your only language. I was there, even when you could not feel me. Faith is not proven when life is easy. Faith is revealed when everything around you tries to convince you to quit. And right now, your faith is speaking louder than you realize. I know you were tired. I know you feel like you've been strong for too long. You've held yourself together when you wanted to fall apart. You've trusted me while silently wondering how much longer you can endure. But my child, do not confuse silence with absence. When the world tells you that you are alone, remember this truth. I am closest to you when you feel weakest. I draw nearer when your strength runs out. I do not abandon my children in the storm. I walk with them through it. Look at the cross. It was not a symbol of comfort. It was a place of surrender. And yet, from that place of suffering, hope was born. Resurrection followed pain. Victory followed sacrifice. In the same way, your kneeling is not defeat. It is surrender. And surrender is where I move the most. You ask me why life feels harder even though you are trying to walk with me. You ask why obedience sometimes feels like isolation, why choosing faith makes you feel misunderstood in a world that mocks truth. My child, hear me gently. Not everyone will understand the road I have called you to walk. The path of faith is narrow. It is not crowded with applause. It is often walked in quiet obedience, secret sacrifices, and private battles. But it is the path that leads to life. Do not measure my presence by your circumstances. Do not judge my love by your pain. If I had abandoned you, you would still be standing. If I had forgotten you, your heart would still long for me. The reason you feel the pressure is because your faith matters. The reason the battle feels intense is because what lies ahead is significant. The enemy does not fight what is meaningless. You are living in days when faith will be tested like never before, a time when many will walk away, grow cold, or trade truth for comfort. But you are being shaped, refined, strengthened. I did not call you to blend in. I called you to stand firm, to keep the faith when others let go, to trust me when the world shakes.
You may not see it now, but every tear you've cried in secret has been counted. Every prayer whispered in weakness has been heard. Every moment you chose faith over fear has drawn you closer to my heart. Do not rush this season. Do not give up in the waiting. I am doing a work in you that cannot be rushed. Just as the sun rises after the darkest night, hope is already breaking through your pain. This is not the end of your story. This is not where I leave you. Stay with me, lean on me, keep the faith. Because even when you feel alone on your knees, I am right beside you. And what is coming next will remind you why you held on. Because even when your heart feels heavy, I am still holding you. You see, faith is not proven when everything feels peaceful. Faith is proven when silence surrounds you, when answers delay, and yet you choose not to walk away. Many people believe in me when blessings are visible. Very few remain when obedience costs comfort. Right now, you are standing in that narrow place, the place where trust is deeper than emotion, the place where prayer feels quiet, but heaven is still listening. I see the moments you cry without words. I see the nights when you replay the same questions again and again. I see how you encourage others while your own strength feels drained. Do not think for 1 second that this goes unnoticed. What feels like delay is not abandonment. What feels like silence is not absence. I am working in ways you cannot see yet. There are doors you asked me to open that I lovingly kept closed, not to punish you, but to protect you. There were paths you wanted to take that would have broken you in ways you were not ready to face, so I blocked them, even when you didn't understand. You thought I said no, but I was saying, not this way. The cross you see in front of you is not a symbol of defeat. It is a reminder that love always requires sacrifice. I never promised you an easy road. I promised you my presence on the road. Some days, faith will feel strong. Other days, faith will feel like a whisper you're afraid might disappear. Both are still faith. Do not measure your relationship with me by how you feel today. Measure it by the fact that you are still here, still praying, still believing, still refusing to give up. There is a reason the enemy fights you hardest when you are closest to breakthrough. There is a reason discouragement speaks loudest just before purpose unfolds. Darkness reacts when it senses light is about to rise. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not weak. You are being prepared. And preparation often feels like pressure. Hold your ground. Do not let go of your faith just because the storm has not passed yet. Storms do not decide your future. I do.
I do not change my promises based on seasons. I do not measure your worth by your performance. I do not step away when you struggle to understand me. I remain the same when your world feels unstable. I remain when others leave. I remain when strength fades. Listen carefully now, because this is where many misunderstand me. Waiting is not punishment. Delay is not rejection. And struggle is not proof that you are failing. Sometimes the ground must be cleared before what I promised can stand without collapsing. Sometimes I allow shaking so weak foundations fall before they destroy you later. You have been asking why it feels harder instead of easier, why obedience hasn't immediately produced relief, why trusting me seems to require more surrender than you expected. It is because I am shaping depth, not surface faith. Surface faith disappears when pressure arrives, but deep faith remains when everything else is stripped away. There are parts of you that could not survive the next level if I brought you there too quickly. So I am strengthening what cannot be seen yet. Roots must grow before fruit appears, and roots grow in hidden places, in darkness, in silence. I know you are tired of being strong. I know you are tired of explaining yourself. I know you are tired of carrying questions without answers. But do not confuse tiredness with defeat. Even I rested when the work was heavy. You are allowed to pause without quitting. You are allowed to cry without losing faith. You are allowed to admit that some days you do not understand me. Honesty does not offend me. Pretending does. I am not asking you to be perfect. I am asking you to stay. Stay when emotions fluctuate. Stay when clarity delays. Stay when obedience feels lonely.
There are people watching your life who will never hear a sermon, but they will read your endurance. They will learn my character through how you endure what you could have escaped. Your obedience is preaching louder than you realize. What you call weakness is teaching you dependence. What you call loss is refining discernment. What you call confusion is leading you into maturity. You have been praying for peace, but I am building courage. You have been praying for comfort, but I am forming conviction. You have been praying for answers, but I am deepening trust. Do not rush this season. If you move too fast, you will miss what I am forming in you. If you quit too early, you will never see why I allowed this process. I am closer than your breath, closer than your thoughts, closer than the fear you haven't spoken out loud. When you feel alone, I am teaching you to recognize my voice without noise. When doors remain shut, I am protecting what you cannot yet see. When strength feels gone, I am teaching you how to rely on mine. The weight you feel is not meant to crush you, it is meant to shape you. Soon, what feels confusing will make sense. Soon, what feels heavy will feel purposeful. Soon, what feels silent will reveal how closely I have been guiding every step. Until then, do not let go. Do not harden your heart. Do not believe the lie that this season defines you. I am not finished. I am not late, and I am not distant. Stay with me. Trust me. And when you cannot see the way forward, remember this truth. Even in the waiting, even in the silence, even in the struggle, I am still holding you.
And because I am still holding you, there are truths you must understand now, not to confuse you, but to awaken you. Many have been taught to look for me only in comfort, but my work has always been clearest in moments of tension. If you study the patterns written long ago, you will notice something important. Before every major move of God, there was unrest. Before deliverance, there was pressure. Before rescue, there was warning. People often ask why the world feels heavier, why hearts feel restless, why clarity feels rare. This is not accidental. When truth draws near, resistance increases. When light approaches, darkness grows louder, not stronger. You live in a time where distractions are constant and discernment is rare. Noise surrounds you so that you stop listening inwardly. Speed is encouraged so that reflection disappears, and comfort is offered so that urgency feels unnecessary. But throughout history, I have never worked through the distracted. I have always worked through those who noticed the signs and refused to ignore them. Some read ancient warnings and treat them like distant stories. Others sense that they were written for moments like these, not to create fear, but to stir readiness, not to predict dates, but to awaken hearts. There were generations before you who saw fragments of what you are witnessing fully. They spoke of shaking nations, divided hearts, truth questioned, and faith tested. They described a world where many would look but not see, hear but not understand. This is why your spirit feels unsettled at times. You were not created to blend into confusion. You were created to discern. Do not assume restlessness means something is wrong with you. Sometimes it means you are paying attention. I know you sense that something is shifting beneath the surface of everyday life. You cannot always explain it, but you feel it. A tightening, a warning without words, a call without clarity. That is not anxiety. That is awareness. Long ago, it was written that many would sleep through important moments, convinced there would always be more time. They would mistake delay for absence. They would mistake patience for permission. But patience does not cancel purpose, and delay does not cancel truth.
I am not speaking to you so that you panic. I am speaking so that you prepare inwardly. Preparation is quiet. It happens in choices, not announcements, in alignment, not attention. You are being invited to sharpen your focus, to simplify what has become cluttered, to separate what matters from what merely consumes time. Notice how easily people argue about truth but avoid living it. Notice how easily signs are mocked instead of examined. Notice how comfort has become a substitute for conviction. These patterns were not hidden. They were described long before you arrived here. And yet, many still believe tomorrow will always look like today. That assumption has never been safe. I am not rushing you. I am steadying you. Because when moments arrive that demand clarity, those who prepared quietly will stand calmly. This is why your season feels intense. This is why complacency no longer satisfies you. This is why shallow answers feel empty. You are being drawn deeper, not into fear, but into understanding. Pay attention to what you are being prompted to release. Pay attention to what you are being urged to strengthen. Pay attention to what no longer fits, even if it once did. Nothing is random right now. Not the questions, not the pressure, not the stirring in your spirit. And this is not the end of the message. This is where discernment begins to matter even more.
Because discernment without response is incomplete, and awareness without action slowly fades. You have now heard enough to know that this moment in your life is not ordinary. Not because of fear, not because of chaos, but because of calling. Every generation is given a responsibility, and yours is being asked to choose depth over distraction. Not everyone will answer that call. Many will stay busy. Many will stay comfortable. Many will stay convinced that later is safer than now. But you feel the difference. That quiet pull towards sincerity, that resistance to shallow faith, that discomfort with borrowed beliefs. This is not confusion. This is refinement. There were moments written about long ago when people would need to decide whether truth was something they admired or something they obeyed. Those moments were never announced loudly. They arrived disguised as normal days. Work continued. Plans continued. Life looked the same on the surface, but beneath it, hearts were being weighed. You are living in days where belief is easy, but surrender is rare. Where inspiration is popular, but obedience is costly. Where many want reassurance without transformation. Do not confuse popularity with approval. What draws crowds does not always carry truth, and what carries truth often requires courage to follow. This is why your faith has been tested quietly, not to expose you, but to strengthen you, not to break you, but to anchor you. You are learning to listen beyond noise, to trust beyond feeling, to remain faithful without constant affirmation. That kind of faith cannot be shaken easily. Remember this, readiness is not about knowing everything. It is about staying aligned. Alignment is choosing integrity when no one applauds, choosing prayer when distraction is easier, choosing truth when compromise would feel safer. You are not being asked to withdraw from the world. You are being asked to walk through it awake. Let your life reflect what you believe. Let your choices confirm your trust. Let your peace become evidence that fear does not rule you. There will always be voices claiming certainty. There will always be opinions competing for your attention. But clarity comes from closeness, not noise. Stay close, stay watchful, stay grounded. Do not carry tomorrow's worries into today. Preparation happens one faithful step at a time. And when the world grows louder, let your foundation grow deeper. When confusion spreads,
let your discernment sharpen. When love grows cold around you, choose to keep yours alive. This is not the end of hope. This is the unveiling of purpose. What is coming does not catch me by surprise, and it does not remove my presence from your life. You were not called to fear the future. You were called to walk toward it with faith. Remain steady, remain sincere, remain ready, because those who live awake will not be shaken when the moment arrives. So stay awake, not in fear, but in faith, not in panic, but in readiness. The time is closer than you think, and the call is clear. Do not delay repentance. Do not silence conviction. Do not ignore the knocking on your heart. I have warned, I have waited, and I have called you by name. Those who have ears, listen. Those who are ready, remain faithful. Because when that moment comes, there will be no time left to decide. Choose now. Be ready.